remember 39 years of age, coming home one night. And I remember early that morning that I was thirsty, and I asked Janice for some water, and she kind of gave me some water, and I got up and I passed out like on the floor. And I remember hearing her scream, and I remember hearing the kids come running, my kids come running, and all of a sudden I didn't know I had really passed out, because I guess, I don't know, it was a couple of seconds or was a minute, I just popped back up, and I'm looking at them like, hey, why are you guys tripping? What's going on? This feeling came over me like again, like I was gonna pass out again. But went to the doctors at that time, could not find anything. But eventually, because of the way I was treating my body, and not really treating my body as a temple, really, not realizing that food can be like a drug too. So I was an emotional eater. Got a problem, go get something to eat. Got a problem, 7-Eleven, go get a Slurpee, right? Any type of problem, right, I could take care of it with food. And so I had got to the point where one time I was going in for my physical. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go in here. The doctor's gonna, tell me, okay, I'm overweight. You gotta lose some weight. Just the same thing and stuff. So I'm going in there. Okay, and that's what happened. Checking me out, and then she says, oh, I think you have a irregular heartbeat. And at first you kind of sit up like, what? What do you mean? I have a regular heartbeat. So from there, she sent me to go see the heart, specialist there at Kaiser, and he had confirmed I had AFib. Then they put me on something called Eliquis, and so with this Eliquis, after I think the first 30 days, you go get checked. So I'm back in the Kaiser, right? Okay, I'm gonna go in and get checked, and I've been praying about everything's to be okay. They did the ultrasound, got up, went home, everything was fine. Next morning, I remember before I started work, I was gonna go for like a walk, and I remember outside in the phone ringing, and it was my doctor, and the doctor said, hey, that when we was doing the ultrasound, on your left hand side, down by your stomach and area and stuff is you have a mass. And I remember going from being shocked to just being silent, and I guess the doctor kind of picked up on it like okay, this guy, he's in shock with what I told him. And she said, well, we'll work through it, we'll get you here for some tests, everything's gonna be okay, and I'll talk to you later. And I remember hanging up the phone, and I remember thinking, right, it wasn't me thinking positive at that moment about, okay, I got faith and everything else. It's me thinking like, after everything I done went through, after everything I done came back from my health, why this guy? I remember just still going for that walk and just kind of thinking about, is this cancer? You start thinking about death. You start thinking about like a lot of things. Okay, I got to take care of how this is going to come out to my wife. I got to take care of how this is going to come out to my kids, right? Okay, this is how I'm going to behave. This is how, just bearing those emotions, how I learned, years ago. If I'm in control, everything's going to be okay. Not realizing that I'm not in control of this. God's in control. The only way I'm going to get out is to let God be in control, basically. I had been praying for God to show up and, give me an answer. And I remember falling asleep. And I remember in my sleep very, very vividly, God said, I will heal you. I actually heard the voice of God. I was like, am I tripping? It was that truly God, but the voice was just so audible. I mean, it was like God had never spoken to me like that before. And it was like, I will heal you. After the MRI that we left, and the doctor called, and they couldn't find anything. Nothing was there. And I remember just kind of asking God, who are you, man? That you would love me that way. Who am I to you? that you would care about me like that. And I remember saying all the stuff I've done in my life where I went away from you. And I can remember all of the times that you kept me safe. Why? I began to see God as this loving God, as my Father, as somebody who truly cared about me. And then all of a sudden, those words that I've been reading, those teachings that I've been teaching, all that became real, even more real.
Matthew 9:35 says that Jesus went through all the towns and villages, teaching and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, healing every disease and sickness. And in Ephesians 1:11 it says, before we were born, God gave us our destiny. So Derek, being healed at the age of 39 and eventually teaching and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, is nothing short of scripture in action.